Yeah, buddy.
Oh, God.
Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Stadler.
Bob Top here.
Oh, gentlemen.
Yeah,
What do you think about today? We got Bobby in here, Mike, huh?
he is here.
Yeah.
He's here.
You guys haven't met Bob. Bob
He's
spent
real.
a lot of time in North Dakota with us.
It's a real lifetime.
Yeah, he's actually, this guy got me into summer tree stands. Years and years and years. That's got to be 30 years now, dude.
Long time.
30 plus years.
Old.
Yeah.
Oof. Hey, you ain't young either, mister.
What happened? Nice hair.
Coming shortly.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Join the team.
Be 25
25 times 2.
times 2.
You'll be out there pulling a hammy the first day and
It won't be the
hammy.
first day. It'll be way before that.
Way before that. Getting out of the
Getting
truck.
into the truck.
get in the truck.
Yeah.
This is a good one. I'm going to throw this one out for you guys. Okay. There's a couple different ways we can go do this, but let's talk about. This comes from Mark from Illinois. It says, How do mature bucks travel compared to other deer, and how do you set up ambush spots on your properties to do so? Notice specific spots being better than others year to year. Do you see that? Mature bucks. Do they travel different than other bucks? Number one, what do you guys think? What do you think, Bob? Do mature bucks travel different than other bucks?
Positively.
Do they?
I think they do.
I've
Well, maybe not different patterns, but timing.
never hunted whitetails.
Wait a second.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
They look like
Do
whitetails.
mature deer. So do they move different? What do you mean? What do you mean? Do they move different?
Right.
Does a mature buck travel differently than let's just say, does a 4-year-old travel differently than a 2-year-old? Or do they travel the same?
Travel.
So I'm going to say, for me, bed to food.
Yeah, they travel the same.
Right.
Yeah,
They travel at different times.
Right.
this is what Bob said.
Yeah, or they travel a different route
They do.
later.
They're close
Yeah,
in general at times.
yeah.
And it comes down to what you think mature deer is again. So when you guys ask us the questions, do me a favor and throw an age group out there so we can kind of have an idea. Because a mature buck to us, which is a 3-year-old deer in our area for sure, is different than some of you guys in Iowa or some of you guys maybe in Ohio or whatever, where you guys are hunting. And a lot of guys will talk 4.5, 5.5, 6.5-year-old deer. Now, 3.5-year-old deer in the state of Wisconsin is a very educated animal.
Yeah, you remember a 3.5-year-old deer is on his 4th year
Yeah, well, see,
In
like
the-
people don't think of that.
in the woods if he's still alive.
Because they'll call a 1.5-year-old deer, first
Yeah.
year with antlers.
Yeah, yearlings and
Yeah, a
you
year
know
and a half. Well, he's actually,
you got a yearling.
yeah.
Then you're going a 1.5 years.
Yeah.
You know, then you're 2.5, 3.5. So I mean, you're all those seasons in already. You're not. They ain't just been around.
Right. So that's a big one. Anyway, the travel patterns. I, in my area, don't honestly, with cameras to prove it, see the bigger, older class deer do anything different than the younger deer. They
Yeah.
ran. If you are not pressuring your deer to where the deer herd is unpressured, a 4.5-year-old deer will do the same thing as a 1.5-year-old deer. Movement wise.
Yeah.
He's a lot more cautious. The one thing they do, Mike's buck this year, Whitey, for instance, a big mature deer will come to an open space and stop in the cover. And he will not. He will sit there and scan for 45 minutes, never move. I watched 911 this year stand there for 2 hours. He moved, I take that back. He moved in 2 hours about 100 yards. And I could see him the whole time. No different. Whitey came to the edge and he did what?
Yeah, he stood there for 45 minutes.
Yeah, never moved.
No, did not move. Was a statue. He didn't move his head.
No.
Not that I saw.
And how many deer were in the field?
Oh, 6 or 7 for sure were out in front of him.
And they weren't very far out in front of him.
No. 20 yards.
Yeah. A sign of a mature deer.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's a good way too for the hunters who are trying to figure out ages or trying to age a deer possibly. watch some of those actions.
I th-
A younger deer may charge right out into the field,
oh yeah.
Normally.
Yeah.
versus a mature buck, like you're saying, they will figure out the situation if they even want to go out there.
They very rarely, those big ones like your place, my place, and those plots are on the edges of those plots all the time.
Yeah.
By the cover. They don't walk out into the middle
Dude.
and stand there.
Nope.
The young bucks do, the does do. But, they, and the travel, as far as ambushing them, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, setting
Where
up ambush
The
locations.
stands that we don't hunt until late October, November, always making sure our winds are right.
I guess that comes down. He asked how we find those spots, and do we notice that those individual spots are good year after year after year after year?
Normally,
Yeah,
They are
and how do you find that spot? Well, the finding of the spot isn't something you go in and do year one, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to recognize it.
Not usually.
And if you're changing things on your property, in other words, moving food plots or doing bedding projects and things like that, that movement is going to change. You'd be surprised. Just one little thing can cause deer to do something totally different.
Yep.
The tree line we put in on my property this year, they used the hell out of that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing there before. And all we did is put, 20 trees in and a couple honeysuckle bushes?
Just a path to travel,
Yeah,
cover.
yeah. And the buck I ended up killing during gun season, I had him come by me and the brother-in-law that day at 20 yards right on that tree line you and I put in. So, I mean, little changes like that change deer movement consistently. That being said, location-wise and ambush spots are usually the best location for you to enter and exit without educating deer between the bedding and the food.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like in the evening hunts, you're closer to food. In the morning hunts, you're closer to bed. But you're not in the bed or you're not in the food, because if you're in either one, you're educating your deer. So hopefully you can understand that. If you sit in the middle of a bedding area, you're done. You educated everybody. If you constantly sit on the edge of food, you're done, because you're educated every deer in the food.
Yeah.
A lot of, it doesn't hurt too, if you're getting into it that deep, make notes each year. If you're starting off with a property, write down some of the things that you've done and watch
Well, you guys
and see what they're doing.
don't see this, but Mike and I document everything. We always have, and Bob's seen it, because
Yep.
we've got notebooks from years and years and years. We document all our time. We document wind. We document moon, which we're not big moon guys, but weather, barometric pressure,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. I mean, Mike and I have made spreadsheets.
Yeah. What we've seen for deer, I mean, it's
And just even if you don't get into it that deep, it's hard to remember from year to year.
Yeah.
Just little notes. Take a notebook along.
I don't remember yesterday.
Jesus.
Remember?
I don't remember. You remember?
Where were you? I don't know.
I forgot already.
But yeah, that's and it sounds kind of like, oh God, listen to this guy. But I mean, it's helpful if you really want to learn ambush spots and some of the points on your property. Take notes, watch what's happening, and I'm sure it'll help over time.
Yeah, and remember, every property is different. What might be a certain thing on my property is different here at Mike's.
We did it this year twice on brand new stands. So we set a stand at your house, or not your house, at your property,
Yep.
moved it around.
Yep.
This year, that is where you killed your deer.
100%.
New stand, but we knew it because we knew the property. We thought this is what we
Right.
should do. And we had another stand there,
We did.
but we moved it.
Yes.
Didn't like it, moved it. It worked. I did it here before you killed him.
Yep.
I went in during season and I set a double
Yep.
with the intentions of you coming here to hunt.
Yep.
You didn't. You stayed and hunted him, the one that you ended up shooting. And I took Phil into it,
Phil killed.
and we killed, a big deer here out of it.
Yeah, leaner.
So, and that's by knowing our property,
Yeah.
knowing what the animals are doing, documenting, like Bob's saying, because, you knew where Captain Hook was traveling.
Right.
We're watching him. We knew, I knew here where Leaner was traveling. I knew what he was doing. I knew what Whitey was doing.
Right.
Because I'm watching them, because I'm watching the property. I use my trail cameras, use your intel.
Yeah.
I sat and watched, that deer 3 times with no tag.
Whitey before you got to kill
Yeah,
him.
before I got to shoot him.
Yep.
So, it's really time. We talk about it all the time. Put time in.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing ever is free. It's always going to take your time, take effort. Big deer don't just come. I can throw that out for sure. The other thing, when it comes to, do deer have tendencies and continue to do certain things? As long as you're not changing the area or educating them, yes.
Yeah.
They are creatures of habit. They're no different than you driving to work. You 9 times out of 10,
You blindly do it.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you get on the same road, you drive the same way, you're close to the same time.
Yeah.
Every day you go to work.
Tell me how many out there even remember your drive to work?
Majority of people just.
You don't wanna.
It's true.
But you drive the same. it's mindless.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do
It
it every
becomes
day.
a habit.
And that's what happens. That's how bigger deer are predictable and it can be killed if you don't disturb what they're doing.
Yeah, you have
which
to.
is the hard part.
Yeah, you have to understand that if there's any sort of disturbance, a big deer is gone.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Yes, that's what Carl brought up, that point. You gotta watch where you're going in and out, and they're so used to in and out in a certain way with nobody bugging them. Then all of a sudden, somebody shows up, as Carl said, in the middle of their bedding area.
Yeah.
Well, that's not gonna work out so well.
Yeah, if you're laying there with your woman in bed and all of a sudden some other dude shows up, I'm pretty sure you're going to notice.
Yeah, entries and exits are always crucial.
That's what she said.
It is.
Hey. Yeah, buddy. But yeah, no, it is. That's the number one thing.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. And your wind is crucial. Entries and exits are crucial. Obviously, it's always bed and food to bed, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but Mike, what about the rut?
Cool.
Yeah.
Food to bed, bed to food. No, like we've always talked about, we do move in tighter.
Yeah. The rut, honestly, the only thing that changes is you hunt the does.
Yeah.
And that should be easier for you. Honest truth. The rut should be easier for you, not so much because the bucks are moving, but because the does are so predictable.
Yeah. Just go where they are.
Yeah.
It's got to be, bucks are going to come and check.
Yeah.
They're going to come and check. They have to. They can't not do it.
Yeah.
They
And you
can't
have
help
to-
themselves.
Yeah, you have to put your time in at that time of year.
Yep.
Have to put your time in that time of year.
Yep.
It's that simple.
And that's it all year. Like I say, if you have your property, you own it, what the heck, you're paying the tax bill, be there.
Well, within reason.
Right, you don't
As
want
we
to.
gotten older, Mike's favorite statement
Less is more.
has become the proven fact when it comes to getting bucks.
But you're not going to have,
Well, we talk about those observation stands.
Yeah.
We sit back and watch. Don't
Yeah.
get in your core areas. Just sit
Right.
back and watch.
Yep.
We don't go out early expecting to kill big bucks. It could always happen.
right,
But we're there more watching what's going on, like Bob's saying.
yep,
Learning, education.
Trying to learning.
yep,
Well, here's a for instance where I had Bob this year. I told Bob that he's probably got a really good chance of seeing my number one deer. And what was it, 8-10 minutes before shooting light, he walked through the valley down below you, heading to work back up to his bed.
yep.
But it wasn't, you couldn't shoot him, wasn't shooting light. And he stayed far enough away where
Right.
you weren't going to shoot him with a bow anyway. But yeah, I walked right by him, 911, walked right by him down below.
But that's just it. Carl puts the time in, Mike puts time in on their properties. Nothing better. It's your property. Utilize it smart
Yeah.
and make a big difference.
It's a lot easier to wreck than it is to make good.
Yeah. Remember, on public land, you can always go someplace else. On your private property, once you ruin it, you ruined it for a minimum of 2 weeks. For sure. So, well, we appreciate the question. Hopefully that answered your question, and probably a little bit more.
It could be.
Could be. We appreciate you guys checking it out. If you want to just listen to the podcast, check us out on Spotify,
RSS.com.
Google,
Apple.
iHeart,
Amazon.
Amazon. Check our pretty faces out right here at YouTube. Oh, there's RSS.
Or just check us out on anywhere that you can get your podcast from. We are on all those platforms.
We are. Also, you guys get a chance, make sure you check out our new group.
Blue Collar Bucks on the Facebook machine.
It's a bunch of guys and girls who are just regular hunters
Yep.
talking about hunting and helping everybody out.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. This shorty had that short tine on the other side, but good buck. I did get him a little back. I thought I might have liver hit him. He was at 42 yards, but